Hey, how's it going everyone? Mick Ambrose from All About Tech. Welcome back to another video. I am back in the office and back from Weymouth, and yeah, I thought I'd get a video out to you guys before I go to work today. Got to leave in about an hour, so I'll keep it fairly short, as I try to. But yeah, some really cool things, developments in regards to ETN. I also want to go over the blockchain update as well. Richard Ells also sent out an email with the main points. I know there's a video as well, but I thought I'd go into it a little bit more detail today. So the first thing I want to talk about is one of the exchanges, Kucoin. Kucoin are back online already after the fork, and they've also added an ETN to USD Tether pair. USD Tether is really important for liquidity. It makes it really easy to get fiat into crypto. And a lot of big money, as you are well aware, comes from Tether. So having a Tether pair is really, really good to see. It would be really cool if the other exchanges bring out USD Tether pairings as well. I find it strange that KuCoin's decided only now to put the USDT pairing on KuCoin, considering we've been on KuCoin for ages. Maybe it's something that Richard Ells said, wait for, now do it, or whether or not KuCoin have seen, you know, this is a really credible company. We can see more trade volume coming from them in the future. Let's get more pairings out for them. So really cool announcement. You can start trading ETN to USDT on KuCoin now. I know they require more confirmations to get for transfers. So I think the transfers into the exchange and out of the exchange takes a bit longer, but I'm sure they only do that for security purposes anyway. Another thing I want to point out is that ETN, they've been getting a lot of media, not like mainstream media as such, not like the ITV or BBC or things like that, but they have been showcased on the Financial Post. Business Wire are the authors of the original article, and Business Wire have done a few articles based on Electroneum, and they've gone and gotten one of their articles on the Financial Post, which is really cool. Goes through all the details of the new update, the reduction in emissions in the 75%. Also goes into detail of the moderated blockchain and the new proof of responsibility algorithm, which is really cool as well. Goes into quite a bit of detail, comparing it to IBM's Hyperledger, which is a permissions-based blockchain as well, and yeah, compares it to like LibreCoin, which basically Electroneum have got there first. So really cool to see. I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, there's quite a bit of centralization to Electroneum now, but that was something that we knew was happening anyway, with KYC, AML, with the instant payment system. Certain aspects of Electroneum are centralized. Yes, they are an entity. They are their own company, but the blockchain's still technically decentralized, and I'm going to go into detail a little bit more of that in a second. But one other thing that I want to point out is that through my notifications, I noticed that Electroneum and Ruster G from Electroneum Universe followed Paycent. Now, why would Electroneum follow Paycent? Well, Paycent are basically a bridge company between fiat and crypto. There you can deposit your money, you can convert it to the cryptocurrencies that they support, and you can also spend it as well. They have cards, so you can potentially pull your money out of ATMs for the ones that support it. But what's really interesting is that some people have been doing a bit of digging, and if you download the Paycent app and create an account, you need to give your phone number and you need to give your email address. But as you can see, on the Paycent app, the Electroneum symbol is there, but if you press it, it just says deposit shall be available soon. So it looks like Electroneum have managed to land themselves a partnership with Paycent, which another bridge to easily transfer. I mean, this is really important for vendors. This is really important for network operators. This is really important for NGOs because it means that they can easily convert their ETN. I think Electroneum are really stepping it up and getting that part of the business down, you know, making sure that ETN is easily accessible, convertible, etc. So there's not much details on that yet. There was a Telegram post or something where Paycent declared that they'll be going live with ETN later on in the summer. Obviously they're available to be used globally. Says that they're based in Singapore, so obviously Singapore being one of those countries that I think Electroneum would be interested in getting into. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But really interesting to see. The more ways there are to convert and transfer and spend ETN, the better. It doesn't matter how small or how big it is because it all adds up over time. But what I want to go into a little bit now is the well, I'm going to use the email for reference, but I've been getting a few comments in the comment section about the new blockchain update and how a small number of people think that it's actually a step back in terms of like it's not as decentralized, etc. But if you got to look at the positives that come with it and weigh it up against the negatives. When we talk about decentralization, how decentralized are we talking? Because Bitcoin, whose amount of transactions are based off of 20 pools, like 99% of all transactions on Bitcoin are processed through 20 pools or less. Does 20 nodes sound extremely decentralized to you? I know that there's thousands upon thousands of people mining within those pools, but it's not the miners within those pools that have the power over the transactions. It's the nodes themselves. So if one node got the majority of the hashing power, say 51%, then they could do all sorts of nasty things. And if there's only 20 so mining pools anyway, then it doesn't actually sound like it would be too well. With the amount of miners now on the network, thousands upon thousands, yeah, it'll be pretty difficult to do. But on other blockchains where there's nowhere near as many miners and there's still only a small amount of pools, it doesn't sound as decentralized as you may think. So in terms of the decentralization part, Electroneum's blockchain is still decentralized in the sense that it's going to be approved NGOs and approved entities that will be allowed to mine Electroneum. Does it suck a bit that people can't just pick up a miner and mine ETN anymore? Yeah, of course. But you got to look at it from the positives as well. The people that they're choosing to run the nodes are going to be incredibly trustful. You know, these are going to be really trustful organizations. They're going to be they're going to be real companies. You know, companies that have a reputation to keep. Well, I say companies like non-government organizations, charities, etc. And they'll be keeping the network on for their benefit as well, because they'll be receiving ETN. But I just want to go in, like, just talk about how, like, in terms of blockchain, and as you can tell, I'm not an expert on blockchain, but when it's the nodes themselves that process the transactions, not the miners themselves, then actually it's not any less decentralized than it was already. Electroneum are just hand picking their miners, which, yeah, it in turn doesn't make it as decentralized, but in terms of an equal spread of where the network is, the amount of nodes, it's in that sense it's still decentralized. And one, that makes sure that it becomes one of the few cryptocurrencies insusceptible to 51% attacks, because these organizations are not going to shoot themselves in the foot. They're not going to ruin their reputation. They're not going to foul play the network, because they will be receiving free ETN anyway. Obviously, with the block reward reduced by 75%, that's just an amazing thing in itself. That's again for huge longevity reasons, which I've already spoke about. And then the scalability and confidence. I mean, remember, Electroneum's a brand. Their 100% priority isn't about decentralization. They're not a crypto purist that thinks decentralization is let's overthrow the banks, etc. They're using blockchain for the benefit of their organization in the ways that they feel will be the best way to do it. And I think proof of responsibility is a really positive thing, because it makes people accountable for those nodes rather than those mining pools which can do whatever they want. And the fact that it involves relevant and influential non-governmental organizations into the Electroneum project, that's a really positive thing as well. And they will be responsible, you know, so they have in their best interests to not mess about with the network. And then on the off chance that one of them do want to try and mess around with the network, that's why they've got this second layer. So the layer one is the decentralized layer where the trusted NGOs are mining Electroneum. But if one of them gets hacked, etc., if one of them decides to try and put a load of hash power on their own pool, which they won't do, because that will probably be in breach of the agreement that Electroneum has set out with these NGOs. All Electroneum have to do is revoke the key, and then they won't be able to mine anymore. So I think in terms of security, Electroneum, all Electroneum have done is protect their blockchain hugely with this update. I don't think it is a step back whatsoever. I think this is because for one, Electroneum, they're going to protect their blockchain. You know, they don't want the risk of a 51% attack, especially if there's millions upon millions of users relying on those transactions going through. I mean, what if one day ASICs decide there's an update to ASICs and something changes in the network, and then a load more hash power comes onto one particular pool, and it messes up the difficulty algorithm, which means that the difficulty algorithm is having to adjust, and there's going to be a delay in transactions, etc. And then what if those ASICs see something else which is incredibly profitable, and they all jump off of that network onto a different network? We talk about how decentralization is key, but with decentralization comes the greed of the miners that will just mine whatever brings them the most profit. And Electroneum needs something that's stable, and they're still keeping that decentralization by having numerous entities, NGOs mining it, but they're trustful. They know who they are. They're responsible, proof of responsibility. We don't know who's mining. Well, we know the pools that are mining Bitcoin. We know the mining pools, but in terms of the actual miners inside the pools that build up all the hash rate, they could be doing that for all sorts of reasons. And then what I was touching on the other day is that Electroneum's carbon footprint lowers dramatically as well, because you don't need that much. You don't need all that hash rate anymore, because you don't necessarily need a really high difficulty algorithm, because there's not going to be thousands upon thousands of people within these NGOs mining. So I think it's a huge step forward, not only for saving electricity, not only for security, not only for speed, not only for trust. It's, in my opinion, the one of the coolest things I've seen in blockchain to date. Yeah, crypto purists won't like it, but at the end of the day, it's it highly secures their blockchain, it keeps it fast, and there's nothing else to say, you know. And then companies wanting to partner up with Electroneum, they're gonna want the confidence and that kind of like see-through lens, that they can see what's going on in terms of who's mining, why are they mining, why are they involved in an Electroneum product. It's really cool. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Sorry, I kind of rambled on a little bit there. By no means am I a blockchain expert, but I can see the positives in this as compared to what a pure decentralized blockchain is, which, when you think about it, the amount of actual nodes processing transactions, it's no more decentralized apart from the fact that anyone can jump on and mine it. And just to touch on that as well, it means that the NGOs, because there's not thousands of people within each NGO mining it means that they're actually going to get a good amount of ETN, you know, as opposed to Bitcoin. Bitcoin profitability is rubbish because there's thousands upon thousands of people mining it. These NGOs will get a good share. It will really help their projects. It will help their organisations. So I see it as a positive in many ways. So I hope you guys like this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm back in the office now. As you can see, I've got a new sofa and a new retro CRT TV for my retro games. I'm going to be doing more videos very soon. I'm off to work. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys out in the next video. Peace out.